Might want to grab a few of them and ask them. I don't think I've ever sat at this close all my years.
Like I said, I would know. Just make it a little easier.
I did it more because I usually run out the coffee hour, you know, so.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I don't have Rich here to help me. This is the When Rick told me I should play a Rush song for the prelude, I'm like, we don't have time for that. Good morning. I'm glad you joined us for worship today. Whoever you are, whatever your theological, spiritual, political, sexual, or racial orientation or gender identity, you are welcome to worship here and become part of this community. This was supposed to be a children's service, but all the kids are gone. We have Josie representing all the children today. So I have a couple of announcements and then I'll open the floor. So first, on April 29th, UU Weymouth is having their pop-up paint night fundraiser. It's $40 and that includes all materials. It starts at 2, so if you're interested in going to UU Weymouth and helping them out and having a night of painting and refreshments, I'll probably go, assuming the kids aren't sick. Reverend Barbara said that if you wanted to bring your own wine, you could, as long as you're discreet. But otherwise, we'll have some refreshments for sale. So that's 2 o'clock, Saturday, April 29th, UU Weymouth. Let's see, we are still in pledge month. We're at week 4, so we're winding down. As of last weekend, we were just a little bit over 50% of our goal, and that was halfway through the month, so that's pretty good. So we have a somewhat ambitious goal of $10,000 in pledges. Lauren is confident that we can achieve that based on where we are with pledges this year. And each week I've been highlighting a different aspect of church life that everybody's contributions go towards. So this week I wanted to highlight fellowship. Things like during COVID when we were closed, we went for walks in the park together. We went to the food truck Tuesdays at Forge Pond Park in Hanover. Now that we're open again, we have our monthly craft night, which is coming up on Tuesday, May 2nd, by the way. This year we added a New Year's Eve potluck and of course coffee hour. Those are some of our fellowship things that we do. So they're not fundraisers, they're not community events, they're just for us to connect with each other and bond and enjoy each other's And your contributions help make those possible. So later this week, I'll send out some photos of some of those activities that we've been doing. Let's see, then I have Sunday, May 7th, we have our membership Sunday. And then we have prudential budget planning meeting. I think that's it for my announcements. Does anybody else have any announcements?
I have
Tim.
the yard sale yesterday was, I'm gonna say it was a good, big success, it always is. And thank everybody for their help. We put a lot of hours in, everybody, and we made a total of $1,200.
Wow, that's fantastic.
And we'll probably have more coming in once Erin's able to post stuff for the marketplace, because that tends to bring in quite a bit of money for the ones that weren't able to make it, or just do something there.
Great.
So thank you, everybody.
I just want to add to that. It was so much fun participating in that yard sale, just helping out, and everybody just did what they needed to do. Everybody worked hard. I want to say especially thanks to Debbie and Aaron, who they were here all the time. I don't know how you guys got any sleep. You were working so hard on it. But really fun to do that.
Yeah, it is a good time, but yes, thank you, Debbie, for putting it on again. And then we get to do it again next month with the plant sale.
Yeah.
Any other announcements? All right. Oh, sorry.
Just a reminder about that,
Oh, yeah, we finished the room.
and it's all nicely displayed now, so.
If only we had figured that out a year ago. Yes, the Bloom is going up to the art festival up at the school in a week or two.
We heard.
May 3rd. So we gotta get it done by the end of the month. And then maybe we'll take it on tour. We'll see if we can get others to let us display it. Okay.
I just have to think of it, Wayne Church, right down, that would go to the free suppers.
Oh, it's Norwell Church.
Norwell Church.
Has a community dinner on Tuesday. I believe it's the 9th. And it's a free dinner, and it's nice to chat with other youths, and they have a service project after, and I think next month it'll be this event.
Oh, that's right. We got control. Yeah,
But it's a fun night and they love having us come.
yeah.
They
That's
go-
great.
A lot of them have nice.
It's pretty fun. Yeah. See, this rolls back into the fellowship. So fellowship is not just within Channing, it's, within the UU community. All right, last call for announcements. Okay. So I'll have everybody stand as you're willing and able as we light the chalice. I believe I put some words in order of service. I did it before I had coffee, so if things are missing, sorry. If you are a dreamer, come in. You are a dreamer, a shifter, a liar, hopeless, writer, we have flat circumstances. So those by Phyllis Wittgenstein. They're all familiar with Phyllis. Pretty much everything today is going to be Phyllis Wittgenstein. So now our affirmation. Love is the doctrine of this church. The question and service. Prayer. To dwell together in peace. To acknowledge in freedom. To serve humanity in fellowship. To the end where all souls shall grow. Thus to the covenant. Please join me in singing from the Teal hymnal, number 1064. We vote home. Just to warn you, the recording I picked starts immediately, there's no intro, and it only does one verse, so it's quick. Well, now I'm gonna do seeds of joy and concern, and do a little different. Anybody who has a joy or concern, I'm gonna plant a seed in a cup and give it to you. Josie, do you wanna help me, or do you wanna stay with me? I was gonna have the kids help, but my kids are busy, so. So who would like to start? Susan.
A joy of concern for our friend Kelly, who recently was diagnosed with breast cancer. Yeah.
Seed for Kelly. Any others? Yeah.
A joy that, Carolyn is home. And concern for her husband Paul and the whole family.
I'm gonna put 3 seeds in.
And, I'd like to also say that, I'll get Carolyn's address and she'd probably love to get cards from everybody. That would be nice.
That'd be great. Any others?
Another joy for yesterday. I know it's a fundraiser, but like you said, with the fellowship, it's nice to have everybody all together. Even though it was not the best weather day, but it wasn't raining, so that
I
was
didn't get
nice.
sunburned, so.
Yeah, we didn't get wet.
I'm gonna plant one for Dot. This poor kid is sick again. Any others? Oh,
It's a joy for me to be here, 3rd week in a row.
Right.
it's great, we missed you.
Rekindle my, church family, with my church family.
We're always happy to have you, Paul. Any others? All right, I'll just plant these last few for all those we hold in our hearts. And if anybody wants to take one home later, please come and help yourself. They're sunflowers, by the way, in case you were wondering. So now we will have a moment of prayer and meditation to reflect on those joys and concerns. There is a voice inside of you that whispers all day long. I feel this is right for you, or that this is wrong. No teacher, preacher, parent, friend, or wise man can decide what's right for you, just listen to the voice that speaks inside. The voice I shall force. Now we will take up an offering. Danny will be our kid today. We like to be silly. So, join me in reading, number 673, to dedicate our gifts instead of singing a song, do reading. Freely we have received of gifts that minister to our needs of body and spirit. Gladly we bring to our church and its wide concerns a worship of this family. Thank you. Okay, so we're gonna do a little interactive time for all ages today. We're gonna read the Giving Tree. And we're gonna have a little chat about it. When I was a kid, used to read this and I always thought, what a nice, wonderful, lovely story. Such a wonderful story about selfless acts of giving. And then when I reread it to Dot as an adult, I was like, wow, this is actually kind of horrifying. And I really don't think I like this story. I actually decided I didn't like it so much, I got rid of our copy. I had to hunt down a copy in the library to do this today. But I decided I'm gonna look at it through a different perspective. And we're gonna see if we can make the story a little bit better. All right, I'm gonna give some of you 2 trees. Who would like a second tree? What, really? We need to use all the trees, so. You want to sit up here or no? So you don't have to. You don't. All right. There once was a tree, and she loved a little boy. And every day the boy would come, and he would gather her leaves and make them into crowns and plating in the forest. He would climb up her trunk and swing from her branches and eat apples. And they would play hide and go seek. And when he was tired, he would sleep in her shade. And the boy loved the tree very much. And the tree was happy. But time went by, and the boy grew older. And the tree was often alone. Then one day, the boy came to the tree, and the tree said, "Come, boy, and climb up my trunk, and swing from my branches, and eat apples, and play in my shade, and be happy."
I am too big to climb and play, said the boy. I want to buy things and have fun. I want some money. Can you give me some money? I'm sorry, said the tree, but I have no money. I have only leaves and apples. Take my apples, boy, and sell them in the city, and then you will have money and you will be happy. Picture for anyone who wants to see it. And so the boy climbed up the tree and gathered her apples and carried them away, and the tree was happy. But the boy stayed away for a long time, and the tree was sad. And then one day the boy came back, and the tree shook with joy, and she said, "Come, boy, climb up my trunk and swing from my branches and be happy." "I am too busy to climb trees," said the boy. "I want a house to keep me warm," he said. "I want a wife and I want children, and so I need a house. Can you give me a house?" "I have no house," said the tree. "The forest is my house, but you may cut off my branches and build a house. Then you will be happy." And so the boy cut off her branches and carried them away to build his house. And the tree was happy. But the boy stayed away for a long time, and when he came back, the tree was so happy she could hardly speak. "Come, boy," she whispered, "come and play." "I'm too old and sad to play," said the boy. "I want a boat that will take me far away from you. Can you give me a boat?" "Cut down my trunk and make a boat," said the tree. "Then you can sail away and be happy." And so the boy cut down her trunk and made a boat and sailed away. And the tree was happy, but not really. And after a long time, the boy came back again. "I'm sorry, boy," said the tree, "but I have nothing left to give you. My apples are gone. My teeth are too weak for apples," said the boy. "My branches are gone," said the tree. "You cannot swing on them." "I am too old to swing on branches," said the boy. "My trunk is gone," said the tree. "You cannot climb." "I am too tired to climb," said the boy. "I am sorry," sighed the tree. "I wish that I could give you something, but I have nothing left. I'm just an old stump. I am sorry." "I don't need very much now," said the boy, "just a quiet place to sit and rest. I am very tired." "Well," said the tree, straightening herself up as much as she could. "Well, an old stump is good for sitting and resting. Come, boy, sit down and rest." And the boy did. And the tree was happy. The end.
So, like I said, as a kid, I thought it was a story of self-giving. And as an adult, I realized that tree must be seriously choosing boundaries. And that boy is incredibly selfish. So I decided I don't really like this book. But then I thought about it, and I thought about Shel Silverstein and the kinds of literature that he wrote, and I realized that from his perspective, this is more of a cautionary tale. This is not supposed to be this warm, fuzzy, feel-good story. This was absolutely supposed to be a message of, you know, being careful in the way you have relationships, that they're not one-sided. But because we're celebrating Earth Day, Arbor Day, which is today, I wanted to take a look at this from a sustainability perspective. So everybody's got their trees. So who wants to hold up the first tree, the tree that's the narrator? You have to hold it up through the whole spiel here, so be warned. All right, Jude's gonna hold up the first tree. As we go through, we're gonna add more and more trees. So we're gonna reimagine the story a little bit, because in this telling of it, the boy's happy when he's with the tree. It's the only time in the story that he's happy. But he uses her resources in a way that consumes them. when he's a kid and he's happy, he's using the resources in a way that doesn't use food. He eats the apples, he swings in the branches, climbs the trunk, he sits in the shade. None of that harms the tree, and they're both happy and living harmoniously. Once he leaves the tree, that's when stuff goes downhill for him. He starts to chase happiness by consuming the tree, with no regard for how it affects the tree or even his future ability to take resources. But he still becomes increasingly dissatisfied with life, and yet he always comes back to the tree. In the end, neither of them has anything left, and they're both depleted, and neither of them have much of a future. The boy grows up and needs money. So we're going to look at this differently. How can he use the tree's apples in a way that would be more sustainable, but still achieve his goal of getting money? Any ideas? Well, I thought,
Selling.
well, yes, he could sell them, but he doesn't even pick every apple to sell them. So I thought he could pick some of the apples and sell them, leave some of them on the tree, and use some of them to harvest seeds and plant new trees. So I need 3 new trees come up. So Mike's got one, Paul's got one, and Danny's got one. There's 3 trees. All right. Now whenever he needs money, he can harvest some apples, leave the rest on the tree, and keep planting new trees every time he does this. So he's never going to deplete the apples, and in the process, he's going to plant new trees. And he will also presumably spend more time with the tree if he has to keep coming back for apples. And we know he's happy when he's with the tree, and the tree's happy when he's visiting them. So he can keep doing this over and over again. So I need 3 more trees. How about Deb, Aaron, and Susan? I'm going to wait for you at the end because I don't want you holding your arm up. So then he comes back needing branches for a house. So now that he has all of these trees, he could take a few branches off of each tree instead of completely destroying one tree. He can build his house right there in the forest near his friend and near his primary source of income, all of these apples. So now he can care for the orchard that he's planted and ensure that it thrives. 3 more trees. Okay, Janine and Josie, if you put your trees down. All right. So hopefully by this point, he won't be so depressed that he wants to sail away. But maybe he's worked hard and he feels like he's earned himself a vacation and he still wants to have a boat to go sailing. He can cut down 1 tree and still plant a few more. Now your 3 trees. So now he has his friend, the original tree, a thriving apple business, a beautiful home in the woods, a sailing hobby, and still he has a stump to sit on when he's tired and needs a rest. Now the tree is happy and intact, the boy is happy, and he has a resource-rich world that they can both thrive in. If he has children, which is something he expresses that he wants in the book, but in the book he doesn't seem to get that. But now that he has this better life, maybe he has children. They'll inherit a forest when he only began with a single tree. And if he teaches them good stewardship of that forest, it will continue to grow and provide sustainable resources for generations to come. We can do this too in the real world, and sometimes we do. There are companies out there that conduct business in this way, but not enough of them. So the lesson here is when we take resources from the earth, we need to be conscious that we don't take all of the resources. We also need to cultivate additional resources for future needs. And we need to stay near nature so it doesn't become out of sight and out of mind. We need to care for the natural settings and help them thrive, and you will also be. So that's my reimagining of the giving tree, and now maybe I can reconnect with the book and start to like it a little bit better. You can put your trees down. If you want to take them home and color apples on them, feel free. So now we're going to extinguish our chalice. And then we'll go and if it's not raining, I have some pansies that we can plant outside. We can do some yard work and clean up. If it is raining, we can do a little spring cleaning inside. And have coffee hour and fellowship and just, have a low key afternoon after yesterday's crazy day for. If we do go outside, the garden beds on Park Street could use a little fixing up. We could put some pansies in there and do a little weeding. The Peace Garden is another place that needs some attention. And also there's the vines growing on this side of the building and under the fire escape need to be pulled down. So those are a few problem areas that we could address if the weather allows. So join me as we extinguish our chalice. We extinguish this flame,
But
but
not
not the flame.
for the war.
Fire.
Thank you.